Hello and welcome to Affinity. We're going to look now at the adjustments and selective colour and simply the whites control here. So we can start off, we've got white adjustment here, and if I try turning these up and down, I'm getting very little effect because the relative is selected here, because that sort of tones it down. If I take that off, now it's going to release and you're going to get a strong effect. And if I go to the left here, this is a red, green and blue control. It only changes those channels. So that if I go to the left here, it tries to turn red up, but red is already fully up because it's white, so no effect. But if I go to the right, it turns red down and it goes cyan. And this is because what's left is green and blue, and they together those make cyan. And so I can make adjustments here. Similarly, this is with green and also with blue. And notice here it's getting darker even though the colour's changing, and that is because it is subtracting, it is taking it away, this subtractive method. I can compensate a bit by taking the blacks and pushing this up here so I can make a lighter version of that colour. But if I keep going with this, it tries to push it all the way to white. If I go the other way, I'm going to get a darker colour, and then I'm going to push it all the way to black. To see more of this effect, I'm going to go to the rectangle here, take the gradient tool, and draw a gradient across this, going from white to black. And look at the way this works here. So if I go to the whites and I make an adjustment here with the relative off so it's quite strong, move this up here so I'm taking away the reds, look at the effect here. I've got a gradient going down here, and that's because the less white it is, then the less the effect this has. So similarly here, whatever I do with these, then I'm going to get that kind of gradient effect. So I can have just a small effect or a stronger effect. I can change the colour, but it's on a more effect on the white, less effect the more it gets towards the middle grey, and it never crosses that central boundary. So it's only on the left hand side. In terms of red, green and blue, this means red, green and blue have to be above the 50% mark, all of them, before it gets an effect here. It's strongest when they're all together up here. It's less as they get down. It also will be less if they spread out, because that becomes more colourful and less white. So if I go to a picture now and put in the selective colour, then go to whites. If I leave the relative on, you can see here, if I move this up and down, look around here to the greys and whites in here. And if I turn this up here a bit, see it goes a little bit redder, turn it down, there's a bit more cyan being put into it. And same with the other colours here, or the lighter and darker, but not huge amounts. So often this is enough just to leave it on relative to give colours a little tweak. We'll take this off to see the stronger effect. So if I go to the right now with the cyan, I'm going to push it right into that cyan. And similar have an effect down here, same as we did with the rectangle, and then we can make it lighter and darker here. A useful effect that you can do, one thing you can do is you can use this changing of the colours of white to do a white balance. What you can also do is just to kind of make it slightly more contrasty, is to take the black control here, push it towards white, and this will strengthen the whites, and only do it a bit. You don't want to cause a lot of burnout, but it looks quite good here, and it looks just a little bit better between here and here because I made the whites whiter, which means the contrast is greater. So that's a useful effect. I can also do things like set things like this. I can change the colour and put a tone into it. So this I'm making the whites more orange And so I can do grading effects like a teal and orange effect, but putting those colours into the lighter areas and a different one that I could do into the blacks. And again, adjust this almost as a final control to make this lighter or darker as needed. Anyway, that's it, and thank you very much for watching.